Desi Williamson says his first speech was so bad that if he wasn't giving it, he would have left.
But these days, Williamson knows how to hold an audience. He's a highly paid motivational speaker with an impressive list of business clients.
When we come back, we'll meet Desi Williamson, a former golfer who's guaranteed to get you motivated. You're watching Golden Gopher Gridiron on Fox Sports Net.
Not only does persistence pay off, you have to have something to say, and obviously you have something to say because you're all over the country providing inspiration to lots of people. First question, Desi, I have for you is, why do you think so many people fail?
Well, I think the main reason is that most people don't have a plan for their life. You know, we kind of wake up and we're...
Desi Williamson, an alchemist for the 21st century, transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary.
But you know, the one thing I found out about success is it doesn't always go to the brightest and the fastest and the strongest, nor the person or organization with the most resources. I found I could bridge the gap of my deficiencies with hard work and a bigger vision. I could show up early. I could stay late. I could outwork and outdream the person next to me with more innate skill and ability. Well, see, now there's a reason that I live in Minnesota. See, coming from an area of high crime and violence in St. Louis, safety was very important to me. See, in Minneapolis, we have very low crime for a city of our size. There's a definite reason for it. Hey, baby, when it's 30 below zero outside, there's nobody out there to rob. You got it? They're all inside. You can't wait for the company to ask you what you need to create balance in your life. Why? Because our lives are fluid, dynamic. Things happen. People change. And we can't expect somebody to just know this through the process of osmosis. We've got to be willing to step forward and communicate those concerns in order for us to maintain the balance. And I know the tools are there. They're right there in that book. Flexible work schedules, telecommuting, educational assistance, portable benefits programs. They're there. Why do they look for the black box? Because on the black box, or in the black box, there's a tape. And on that tape, it contains the origin of the flight, the history of the flight, as well as the culmination of the flight. You know, I believe that each and every one of us has a little black box for our lives. And in that box is the tape of our lives that contains the whole history. It contains our origin. It contains our life's history, and it contains our culmination. It contains the happiness, the sadness, the joy, the pain, and even the drama, if you insist. And it's our ability to go inside of that black box and deal with the issues that we know are prevalent and necessary for our own happiness that determines the quality of our lives.
At the age of 11, Desi Williamson embodied the alchemist's passion, how to turn something from ordinary into extraordinary. He has lived and now teaches that success is not an inherent quality that you're born with, but is realized with sheer persistence and perseverance. Prior to becoming a professional speaker, Desi excelled at the University of Minnesota. Chosen as a Williams Scholar for academic and athletic achievement, success as a business owner, and in corporate America as sales, general and franchise operations manager for organizations that included Johnson & Johnson, Rainbird Sales, PepsiCo, and Cadbury Schweppes. Whether he's delivering his programs on sales, leadership, personal performance, or change, you'll know he's speaking from experience. True to his passion, he'll inspire your team to reach their goals.
If you look up master in the dictionary, it says a master is a person who establishes a standard. It's a performer of consummate skill, a great learner, someone who is a principal or leading force, an expert. Now, I'm often asked about the difference between leadership and management. People say, well, what is the difference between those two? Do we subordinate one in the place of the other? Well, how do we discern one from the other? I say, listen, let's explore this for a moment. If you look in the dictionary under manage, you'll find this definition: to make submissive by virtue of one's position, power, or authority. Now, I don't know about you, I don't want to be on the other end of that. But if you look up the word lead,
It means to show, to guide, to coach by having gone in advance. Very important words, by having gone in advance. What does that mean? That means that you wouldn't ask somebody to do something that you haven't done or are not willing to do. Roll up your sleeves right there and get busy with them and teach them. But a mentor is even higher, because a mentor is someone, it's a trusted advisor who voluntarily is qualified and willing to teach an apprentice his craft or her craft until they're able to fly with wings on their own. Now, if you don't believe in the power of niches, then let me throw this statistic at you right now. Right now, 47% of the companies that made up the Fortune 500 14 years ago are no longer in business today. They got niched by somebody with a better idea. Better than that. How many of us every day buy goods and services from companies that didn't exist 30 years ago, but those companies have gone on to redefine the industries in which they operate? Raise your hands if you got something like that. How many of you ever used Federal Express? Federal Express did not exist 30 years ago. Only in the mind of the creator, Fred Smith. What he did is he took two ideas. The concept of central warehousing, which he learned from banking, hub and spoke aircraft delivery that makes Southwest Airlines famous. He married them together, applied it to mail, and changed the way that we all work and live. Niches! They're out there, aren't they? Niches. Who has heard this statement in the last 7 years? We're adapting to change. We're adjusting. How do you adjust? Adjust to change, right? We're embracing change. Ooh, I want to see that one, right? Who's heard those? Now, can anybody tell me what's wrong with those statements? They're all past what? Tense. It implies that change is already what? Happened. We don't wait for something to happen. We make something happen. And when we make something happen, then we change the condition. But I don't believe that corporations change. I think people do. One decision at a time. I've got a hard and fast rule about dealing with change in the game of life, and it's this. If you happen to be riding a horse, you look below you, you see that horse is dead, dismount. Just get off. God says, giddy up. No, giddy off. Giddy off. It's over. Changing our course is a personal decision. And it's about challenging our fear. Challenge the fear. Change the behavior. Go inside of the black box and you'll get different results. I love business for the same reason I hope you do. I love people. And businesses are not supercomputers and fax machines and microchips and bricks and mortar. Businesses are the sum total of the people involved.
Desi works closely with you to make his presentations mean more to your team. He possesses the unique ability to understand and internalize information about your business. Unlike any professional speaker you'll ever see, Desi doesn't rely on slides or PowerPoint to convey your objectives. He knows them and delivers them for immediate impact.
We will become the world's most valued company to our patients, to our customers, to our colleagues, to our investors, and to our business partners. Right? Does it say that? Absolutely. And the communities in which we work and live. Well, as I looked at your annual report, the stories abound everywhere at Wells Fargo about achievement, about going the extra mile. And I couldn't help, I want to congratulate you. I mean, you just completed one of the most complex systems and operations conversions in the history of financial services. You did so while growing your revenue at double-digit rates. 7 consecutive quarters of record profits. 3 million customers on the internet. You're adding 100,000 a month. And Fortune magazine has granted you the honor of being the nation's most admired bank. Give yourselves a hand. Come on, let's do it. Yeah!
All of Desi's programs have developed from an incredible personal history and an exemplary corporate career. The inspiration and practicality of his presentations are uniquely powerful because they speak directly from the heart. Desi will motivate your team to achieve their personal success and their professional goals in leadership, sales, and the challenge of change. Tools for transformational thinking.
Can anybody in the room tell me what the initials MJ stand for? Somebody said Michael Jackson. Well, in this case, I'm talking about Michael Jordan. Now, did Michael Jordan raise the standard in his chosen sport, yes or no? Did I tell you, we thought Dr. J was something, didn't we, till along came Michael Jordan. Now, it's well documented the last time he retired, he was being interviewed. And they asked him, said, Michael, how do you go out every single night and play with such passion, such intensity? He said, you know, there's 365 players in the NBA. All of them are great. But what separates you from the pack? And he said something I will never, ever forget. He said this. He said, there was something that happened to me a few years ago. And from that experience, I decided at that moment that I would demand more from myself than anybody else could ever expect. I'm going to say it again. He said, I would demand more from myself than anybody else could ever expect. I said, that is it. Because when you sit down and do your performance appraisal, if you've demanded more from yourself than anybody else could ever expect, there's no stress. You know you've blown the numbers away. But I want you to reignite your purpose. See, purpose is stronger than object. You show me a person with a strong enough purpose, I don't care how long it takes, they will be more successful than someone with natural ability without it every single time. My challenge to you tonight is this. How far are you willing to go to cross that wire and wicker bridge of personal challenge and personal change to take your performance and take this organization to the next level? Now, I did this experiment out in San Francisco not long ago, and a lady in the first row would not raise her hand. She had an attitude about it, adamant about it. Like, what are we looking at? I'm not raising my hand for you or anybody else. Well, naturally, I became very concerned. So I step off the stage just like I'm doing now, about 2,000 people in the room, and I says, ma'am, you mean to tell me you wouldn't cross that bridge to get your own children? She said, honey, it depends on which one.
A successful college athlete, corporate executive, real estate investor, and restaurant entrepreneur, Desi has been sought after by a variety of companies to help them convert ordinary efforts into extraordinary visions and significant results. You delivered everything we asked for and more at our annual sales kickoff meeting. Get Off Your Assets was inspiring, humorous, and just the right message to launch us into our new year. Your ability to incorporate key strategies and issues of this division so meaningfully into your overall presentation impressed many of our employees. Thank you for your outstanding presentation.
See, we live life on levels, and we grow in stages. And even after we go home from the enormous energy behind this fabulous convention and we're back in the confines of our own environment, I believe that coming to grips with ourselves will be the measure of our true success.